Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, we are breaking down a massive weekend that has just gone past, but more importantly, talking about some really good stuff that's happening tomorrow. Alex, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at Newcastle to knock Leicester down to the championship and a sneaky top four bet.
That sounds pretty good. I'm going to be talking about whether or not LeBron and the Lakers can actually force a Game 4 in the NBA playoffs. Anyway, we've got player props, game picks, and best bets, everything you need. It's Code Bet Daily. It's really good. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Monday, May 22nd. Ah, yes. What is this, episode 114? That checks out, doesn't it, Alex?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was Friday the 13th last week, yeah.
That's right, Friday the 113th. Right, I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. We call it CodeBet because that's its name. You can find it at codebet.com.au. We had an absolutely massive weekend. So many stories up over the weekend. It was a little bit silly, just a little bit rambunctious of us, I feel, but it was very good. I'm joined, as always, by one of the pontiffs of punting because one of them is gallivanting around the old, I don't know, he's around Kentucky, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in Kentucky at the moment.
Anyway, we do have Alex. Alex, what's going on?
Yeah, g'day. The gambit of emotions that I went through on Saturday was not healthy, and one human should not have to go through that in a 2-hour period after going to a beer festival on the Friday night. But yeah, you know what? Winners win. Job done. Never in doubt. Apparently.
Hey, that I wouldn't know the feeling. It was a pretty gnarly weekend of football for both AFL and NRL, though, before we just jump into the actual daily show. What do we have? West Tigers putting up 66 in the NRL.
Yep, didn't see that coming. Yeah, no, I could not have seen that coming. If you said to me, West Tigers are going to score 66 points, I would have said, you are on crack, sir. Where did you get it from? Secondly, that also means the North Queensland Cowboys are officially out of the premiership race because in the history of the NRL, if you have conceded 50 points, you do not win the grand final. That is literally a thing.
That's the rules. I didn't make them. That's just how they are. I believe we also had another big upset yesterday as Manly absolutely demolisherated Canberra. That made no sense.
Yeah, Phil and I absolutely confused. Canberra can get top four. No, we were so wrong, and we got that wrong straight away, so that was good. Also, shout out to Phil commentating the GWS St Kilda game yesterday on AFL Nation with Leon Cameron. I caught the second half of that, so get around Phil. What a good bloke.
Man. Love that. Either way, AFL, we're not going to talk about it because that was a horrible weekend if you're Carlton supporter.
It could be worse. It could go for West Coast.
At least North got a win.
Being at the ground was honestly, it was scenes because we had no idea what was going on. Like the umpires got the ball and you see him putting his hand to his ear and like all of us in the stadium are like, what is going on? And then he throws the ball to Hayden McLean and we're like, oh, great. And I'm with a bunch of Swans fans and we're going nuts because we know there's about 30 seconds left. But we didn't know what was happening and we're all like, oh, someone's abused someone, whatever from there was a tackle before it and whatever. And we're like, oh, maybe that's happened. And then a couple of people are listening to their earbuds and like, oh, no, there's been an interchange infringement, automatic free kick. But it's like something in that situation kind of needs to go over the stadium because if this was like a Richmond or a Collingwood, it would have been an honest-to-God riot because the North Melbourne fans pelted the ground with all their beer cans, their like rubbish and everything. But if this was like a game with 70,000 people there, it would have been a riot. Something simple as like, there's been an interchange breach, hence the free kick. Might have calmed them a small bit, but thank God there was only 20,000 people there. But tell you what, if North won that game, the roof would have got lifted off the building. They are as loud as a 40,000 seat stadium there. It was nuts.
Quick bad beat from that game as well. I had Sydney to win head-to-head. Didn't even go at the line for this one. Will Hayward, anytime goal scorer. Errol Goulden, anytime goal scorer. Hayden McLean, 2 or more goals. You little ripper. Park out to go 20-plus disposals. And then, of course, the golden boy. Errol Goulden, 30-plus touches. Boom.
No. Yeah.
You're breaking my heart. Ew, Errol. You break my heart and you ruin my multi. Anyway, that's
mine was super.
I'm just saying I'm getting so much better at creating songs off the top of my head using betting terms. Did you have any bad beats on the weekend there, Alex?
Yeah, I needed Suva to kick 3 goals on the weekend, and when he kicked one out in the full and missed a sitter early on, I was like, oh, I'm in trouble here. I had Buddy for 3, bang, McLean 2, Errol anytime, Heen Machine anytime. I needed Suva, and I had Jaden Stevenson kicking 1. He kicked 1, and I needed Suva for 3, so that was a little bit painful.
Fine. And I think I don't know if we broke down. I don't think I broke down Lakers Nuggets on Friday's show because they were playing that day, right? So they played
Sunday,
yesterday.
yeah, you did. No,
So
you
the
didn't go
Sunday
into
was
it too
game.
deep.
But I think we had at least. I might have had yeah, that's right, in the paper for Sunday. We had a NBA multi, absolutely nailed every leg of it. Did I have that multi actually going?
No.
Without a result? No, of course I didn't, because I'm an idiot who thought, no, if this all happens, then the Lakers are going to win. And they did not. So more fool me. Anyway, that's code RAP daily, apparently.
Yeah. Also, bad beat if you're a Richmond fan too, but sucked in.
Why is it a bad beat? I mean, they lost.
Well, no, they had a goal kicked against them with 30 seconds to go. Like, that's just... Yeah. And they were like 4 goals up. It was just funny. But anyway.
It's always funny when Richmond lose. Yeah. But I mean, listening, they had that one threatening all season, basically, right? They've got to come back from one of these ones and not just absolutely, bottle it from ahead. But this is CodeBet Daily. We are what it says on the tins. Betting, codes, and daily player props, game picks, best bets, all the good stuff. I'm just going to lean into the NBA playoff game tomorrow, which is an absolute chaos engine. It is... Both these series so far have been electric, and the fact that one's 3-zip and the other one's 2-zip is hilarious. Boston Miami's just started over here as well for today. So I'll be talking Denver, LA, game 4. There are so many fantastic, weird little bits and bobs about that game, about the situation when you're down 3-0, because no one's ever won from 3-0. So what happens
now? We're setting it up for LeBron the last dance, clearly.
Exactly. What are you talking about here, Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to lean in tomorrow's EPL game. Not Callum Wilson, Newcastle Callum Wilson is a player for them. Take on Leicester City. Big ramifications at either ends of the table in this game. And then I'm going to have a sneaky look at a top 4 bet later on. There's a little wrap I'll put together for it as I use my hands to speak.
Good job. Right. Easy ones. All right, let's get into the player props. So I think for Sunday's game, I was like really bang on about AD and LeBron putting up pretty big performances. AD was really, really good in that game. Anthony Davis, I think he crushed it with the 28 odd points, 12 plus rebounds, was always going to be the win. I think I had him at just 21 because he had actually sort of struggled here and there at home during these playoffs. He stepped up big time. The problem is I think I'm going to lean away again from a big point total on AD. I'd be looking at sort of just that 21, 22 point range, which is like the lower end of the scale, but you can get that as part of a multi on BetR pretty easily. Ladbrokes, the same sort of thing, right? Where you've actually got just the choose your own point starters for AD. So I'd steer clear of him for any big number. You can always go the over 12 plus rebounds for him as well, though. But for me, the one that I'm really going to lean on is LeBron.
Yep.
He's aged 427 years. He's older than Methuselah. He's got to empty the clip. He's down 3-0. And the weird thing is that LeBron's been down 3-0 in series before. He's won one game ever. And he was swept by the Spurs in the 07 finals. Yeah, that checks out. And swept by the Warriors in 18 after his amazing game 1. That's the famous JR. What are you doing, JR? That's an incredible game. And I think in 17 they were down 4-1. They go down 4-1. That's the one he wins. The weird part is the Lakers as a franchise are 0-8. So LeBron's going to be...
So what you're telling me is it's not going to happen.
I don't think so. But I think LeBron is going to go absolutely hammer and tongs. He went to the LeBron of foot doctors, don't forget. And foot doctor said, I'm the LeBron of foot doctors. Hey, LeBron, you should be able to play on this. And LeBron said, hey, I'm the actual LeBron of basketball players. Can I? Should I? Give it a crack. Made to the Western Conference Finals. It's all going to end here, but I think we're getting a massive, massive LeBron game. He's actually $3.50 for a triple-double, which, to be fair, is pretty good value. I really actually like that because you think about the triple-double numbers for Joker, they're just crazily priced now, because he had, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
The 50-plus points, rebounds, assists is only at $3.10. So the triple-double is actually just better value because you figure if he's going to go for 38 points, the points, rebounds, assists, that 50-plus will hit pretty easily. But the value for the triple-double of him not doing that and actually just getting to 28, 10, and 10 is a little bit better, and you've still just got better odds with $3.50 rather than $3.10 and only gotten to 48. So I think a LeBron play is a really good one. I like the assists as well because the only way they're going to win this, the Lakers, is if their role players step up.
Yep.
LeBron is always really good as a facilitator, obviously. So there's another little one, D'Angelo Russell. Now, if anyone listens to NBA Australia, there are a few of them out there, and D'Lo is one of my least favorite players of all time, Alex. I sat there in Brooklyn for years and years and years and watched him day in, day out. Just a horrible attitude of just like that. Nah, I'm awesome. man, I am the best thing that ever happened to the NBA. Everyone's like, D'Lo, can you hit a shot that matters? Just once. But I think I've described as like the worst bloke ever to walk into the club. Just walked into the club. You're like, oh, this guy, I hate him so much. He has that vibe about him.
Yep.
And he has had like 3 or 4 really good games during these playoffs. They've all actually come at home. He's had now he's had 2 bad games at home following game 3. I had to look at his over-under for his points. It's 11.5, which is pretty funny. The only problem with this is that Darvin Ham, the Lakers coach, if he looks and he sees D'Lo just struggling and just stinking it up, he's just going to pull him. So this is it. D'Lo is so streaky, he could easily get to like this 11 points in the first quarter. I'm going to go the over. It's actually priced pretty nicely as well, $1.98 for 12 points. I don't believe in D'Lo. I do believe that he could step up in a meaningless game where they're going to lose the series anyway. So over 11.5 points. And then on the other side for the Nugs, you've got the Joker, $2.35 to go over 30 points. It feels pretty good because there's been games where the Nuggets will lose, but he'll have like that 53-point games, right? Yep. Like just absolute chaos. The way the Nuggets lose these games is the rest of the dudes not stepping up. Joker always steps up. He'll have 30 probably in these big spots going up against Anthony Davis. Maybe AD limits him. Maybe that's why they win the game. But I still think Joker, $2.35 over 30. Jam and Jamal Murray, though, the under, he's averaging 35 in this series. The over-under is 26.5. This is just a question of whether or not you reckon he's still really hot.
Yep.
How hot is he? Is he hotter than the sun? Maybe. $1.87 for the over, the under. I'd probably be tempted to once more go the under just because he has like the one sort of blip games every so often, even in a really good series. But he also just has series like we saw in the bubble where he goes, hey, guess what? I'm going to average not 35, but like 42 for the series. What do you reckon? And you're like, damn, that's pretty good. So my brain is going, he could just stay that hot, but he did cool off in the second half of game 3. I'd go the under for the 26.5 points. Joker's over, and away you go. So there's a couple of nice little player props for Nuggets Lakers tomorrow. Alex, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at Callum Wilson, mentioned him at the top of the show, to score a goal tomorrow against Leicester City. Look, he's been in amazing form for Newcastle. He's got 18 goals and 5 assists this season, but when you sort of dig deep into it, he had a couple of injuries to kick off the season. He's got 11 goals since the start of April. That's awesome. And then you have a look at his last 7 games that he has scored a goal in. Newcastle have got 6 wins and a draw. It's safe to say, when Callum Wilson scores, Newcastle do not lose. Also, it's like, oh, but he gets easy goals, Alex. Well, you know what, idiots? He finds himself in the right position and does what strikers do. Puts it in the back of the net, a la Haaland, a la Harry Kane. He scored an absolutely awesome free kick on the weekend. My God, if you haven't seen it, please look it up. It was sick. They still lost. Anyway, so having a quick look at this, the Callum Wilson goal in Newcastle to win, a little special market at Ladbrokes, is $1.67. Problem is, Leicester stink, and I'll talk about that later. That's why these odds are so short for him. Yeah. But you're like, hold on, him to score and Newcastle to win's $1.67. It's like, well, Newcastle like $1.20, so they probably should be winning. But $3.65 to score first. Newcastle absolutely love having a hot start. They absolutely love getting out, hit the ground running, and score early. They probably could have got 3 or 4 against Arsenal in the first 10 minutes a couple of weeks ago. They put 6 on Tottenham, and I think 4 of them were in like the first 10 minutes. So very good at home, getting the fast start. And on a cold, dreary night, well, it's not that cold. It's actually coming into summer up there, but it's up in Newcastle. Poor Leicester could be in trouble, but we'll talk about that later. But $3.65 first goal, I don't mind either.
Callum Wilson, let's go.
Yep.
Nice one. All right, match game picks. So this game 4 Nuggets-Lakers one is fascinating because it's 100% about how you think the Lakers are going to respond. You're down 0-3. Yep. What do you think, Alex? Is it human nature to go, well, no one's ever come back from 0-3 down in the NBA, ever?
Yep. No. Okay.
Is it human nature to go, well, pack her up, boys. I've already booked my flights for Cancun. I'll see you like next season. Or do they go, I don't want to disappoint like Daddy LeBron.
Yeah.
He's going to have harsh words for me.
I mean, if it was any other team, you'd be like, yeah, this is done. But it's like, yeah, they're going to come out swinging.
I mean, if you don't want LeBron to trade your entire team in this offseason, like you're going to come out and step up at least in one of these. And the Lakers have been really good at home all playoffs, right? I think yesterday was the first game they've lost. The tricky part is the over-under is 224.5. So I think the way that they win is having that under hit, right? Like the Lakers aren't blowing the doors off other teams. And we have seen the Nuggets, like this offense is incredible. They're basically just never scoring under like 110. Like it's absolute chaos.
Yeah.
The one weird game they had was like a 97-87 game against Phoenix in the second round. They still won that, the Denver Nuggets. Like, so even if they got stymied, they stymied the other team and they still won.
Makes sense.
But I think this is it. I think the under just hit randomly enough. I think it got up to 226, 227 for yesterday's game, and it came in at 226, I want to say.
Yep.
But this is, obviously, they're looking at this as an elimination game, 224.5. It's all going to come down to the Lakers defense. I tend to think human nature will say the Lakers do put up a fight.
Okay.
I just think they're going to do it. So I think they do it via defense. So I'm going to go the under 224.5 and the Lakers first quarter to win to win the first quarter. I love this one because they're going to come out absolutely psycho, fired up. We've got to step up for LeBron just to win the first quarter is $1.70. I love that. I love that a lot. So away we go. That's my game pick for that. There's other vibes. I was kind of like thinking about, can I look at Boston, Miami, like on for Wednesday? And I'm like, well, the game's still going, so maybe we'll just pump the brakes on that one. But anyway, Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, still looking at that Newcastle-Leicester game, and look, Newcastle basically is short of Champions League, but put that nails just that tiny bit out just to go knock it in. They need 1 point against Leicester tomorrow morning. Of course, got the final game coming up this weekend. Leicester, they absolutely need to win, or they can get a draw to stay alive in the relegation battle. As now, after the weekend's results, God bless my team, Arsenal. You know what, boys? We're going to come second no matter what. Here you are, Knots. You blokes can stay up. Here's a win, 1-0. Actually, I'm just like, you know what? I don't care. Like, our season can't get any worse. It can't get any better. It doesn't matter. Everyone's like, oh, Arsenal have bottled it. Da, 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 da. It's like, no. Chelsea spent £8,000 billion and a 12th. Tottenham, all that money on Richarlison, 7th. Like, seriously. Get your head out of your backside, honestly. Saying that Arsenal have bottled this is absolutely hilarious, given the fact that, they've made, I think it was the 4th least amount of changes this season. And Manchester City this morning played Calvin Phillips for the first time this season as he started. They paid £50 million for him in the offseason, and he started once, and it was last night. Like, honestly, you can't compete with that.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, Newcastle getting into Champions League is going to be pretty sick. But you look at their home record this year, they're 11-5-2. Their losses have been to Liverpool and Arsenal, so that's a pretty good record. And then I'm thinking we're going to see a fair few goals here because Leicester, they're very bad, shall we say. I was trying to think of a worse word than bad. I'm like, how can I say this nicely? No, they suck. They've allowed in 67 goals this year, which is the 3rd most in the league. But they're 9th for goals scored. They have scored, as of this morning, 3 less goals than Manchester United for the whole season. It is utterly bonkers that this team is on 30 points and a chance of being relegated. Newcastle have scored 22 goals in their last 7 games. I think Newcastle and over 3.5 goals is a good bet here, 275. Because, like for Leicester, it's like you said with LeBron and the Lakers. They just go, oh, we're relegated. No, this is hundreds of millions of pounds on the line. You've got to go out and be like, you know what? Our defense stinks, but we could score some goals. Sure. Let's have a crack. James Maddison, Tielemans, Vardy, Iheanacho. Have a crack. You are way better than this. Anyway, I still think Newcastle will smash them because they're way better. So Newcastle to score 4 or more goals at $4 as well. But I think that Newcastle and over 3.5 goals at $2.75. And our friends at BetR, Newcastle to win by 2 or more goals was $2.22 this morning. That price has changed about 16 times in the last 24 hours. I don't know, as I put it in the paper this morning and I had to keep changing it every time I checked. But this will be an entertaining game. 5 a.m. tomorrow. Tears for Leicester. Cheers for Newcastle.
Nice one. I like that a lot. So the Newcastle over 3.5 is singing to me for $2.75.
Yeah. Given, 22 goals in its last 7 games. It's insane. And that includes a scoreless game against Arsenal. So you take out that, it's 22-6.
Also, I mean, I can't wait to start talking about Champions League title odds and whether or not Oasis will be getting back together.
Oh, yes. If you saw Twitter over the weekend, as a few messages I got yesterday morning were, let's go Inter. I'm like, yeah, but it's not going to happen. Let's be real.
Anyone who's barracking for Inter on the basis that I don't want Oasis to tour again is a moron. So.
Andrew Weaver, hello.
Man, Waves. I would much rather, Oasis are wildly uneven band when it comes to recorded output, but man, they still absolutely smash it live. So I wouldn't mind seeing them again. I think I saw them in like 06, back when Stats Guy was just a twinkle in his dad's eye.
Now he's playing cornhole in Kentucky.
That's certainly a game. Right. Best bets for today, tomorrow, whenever. I just wanted to quickly hit on that Nuggets-Lakers game one more time. The Lakers are 3.5-point favorites at home, so at least the bookmakers haven't lost faith. They've only lost those 3 games by a combined 20 points as well, so they've stayed pretty close in these. If you want to like sort of drag out, like the Nuggets are almost too good to throw like, the Lakers will definitely bounce back and smash them. I just don't see that happening.
Yep.
Like it just doesn't happen. So the line, the Lakers minus 3.5 across the board. Looking at it on CodeBet right now, the 3.5 I think is $1.91 with everybody. So Bet365 Top Sport, Ladbrokes is $1.90. So actually with Top Sport it's $1.93. So get your value. But the combined, obviously, like as I said, like the way the Lakers win this is by keeping it close, keeping it under minus 3.5, under $3.60. The Lakers minus 3.5 and the under is $3.60. There we go. Use your words, Jim. The craziest part to me is that the Lakers are in this, 3-0 hole, obviously. The Nuggets were $1.65 to win the series.
Yep.
To start it. They're now $1.70 to win the title. So, oh boy. I think folks are feeling pretty good about Denver and their chances, and so do I. So it feels pretty good. I think the Celtics were $4 and they're currently down to Miami. So best of luck there.
Yeah.
It could be easily staring at a 3-0 hole by the time you listen to this show. But I think the play is Lakers minus 3.5 and the under $3.60. I think that was a Ladbrokes or Bet365. Alex.
Having a look at the top 4 in the AFL, and it slipped under the radar for me. Port Adelaide are 8-2. Like, yes. What? That honestly blew my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, you're thinking that they'd be, 7-3, 6-4 or whatever. No, 8-2. And given the way where they are at the moment, like they've still got Charlie Dixon and Todd Marshall to come back into this squad, and looking at them being 8-2 after 10 rounds, and you'd think 15 or 16 games should get you into the top 4. That's 15 or 16 wins. And I just did a quick history check before coming onto the show, and since 2015, I didn't look at 2020s. I'm not counting 2020. 16 wins, you make the top 4. Guaranteed. Every team that's had 16 wins since 2015 has made the top 4. I could go back and probably find every team ever who's won 16 games has done it, given the season has gotten longer in the last 20 years. Anyway, you look at Port's next 5 and tell me quickly if you think they're going to win or lose these games, Jim. They got Richmond this weekend at the MCG.
Oh, they should probably win that.
Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval.
In Adelaide, they'll win that.
They've got the Western Bulldogs at Marvel. Let's remember they've won their last 9 at Marvel.
They love playing at Marvel. They'll probably win that one too.
They have the injury-ravaged Geelong at Adelaide Oval.
That's in a month. They should be a bit healthier, the Cats.
Yep.
I'll say the Cats in that one.
Essendon at the MCG.
Oh, that's tricky. That's really close. That's so tough.
Yeah.
Maybe they win that, but it's at the G, maybe Essendon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyway, so let's just say with that, and I agreed with you, you'd win 4. That gets them to, 12-3. If they win all 5, they're 13-2. It's almost impossible to see Port Adelaide missing the top 4 from that. You have a look at the teams around them. Geelong are 5-5. They've got their injury list. There's 3 other teams that are 5-5, which includes the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda, and they're still like, no. I think Western Bulldogs probably convinced more people, including myself over the weekend. I'm going to have to eat humble pie about that. I was very wrong. And St Kilda, they didn't convince me last night when they just squeaked by GWS. And then you look to the teams that have 4 wins. You have the Gold Coast, but then you have Geelong. You have Sydney and Carlton. So whoever loses that game this Friday night is absolutely cooked. And this is all talking about finals and how it all fills in together. But with that, Port Adelaide should be making the top 4, given that there's just that gap between the teams on 8 wins. Then you look who's on 4, 5, and 6 wins. So pretty keen to take the $2.05 with a Ladbrokes. Port Adelaide to make the top 4. And just had a quick look because I think the Swans will win this weekend against Carlton. $5 to make the top 8. Oh, that piques my interest.
Oof. So the tricky thing, it's not really that tricky. I think the Port is a great call because you'd be banking on St Kilda, the Bulldogs, or Geelong to jump into the top 4 ahead of them, right? And St Kilda's 7-3, the Dogs 7-3, and Geelong 5-5. So you have that moment of like, cool, they're already a game behind them. and like the fact that the Cats are only on 5-5, it's hard to believe in St Kilda just, getting to 16 wins, right?
There's also a bit of shakiness about the D's who are just there as well. Like, I think Freo are a red hot chance of betting this weekend. No Clayton Oliver for a month.
Possibly. See what happens. Either way, I like it. It's a good one. It's a great spot. I can assume that'll be up on codebet.com.au today.
It's also in today's paper if you're having a look at it.
Oh, excellent. Good job. Nice one. All right. That's been plenty. It's been a surprisingly excellent CodeBet Daily today where I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. But that is it for today, I believe. We'll be back on deck tomorrow, just Alex and I, and get right around the show, obviously. We'll have EPL, AFL, NRL later this week.
Shorter week this week with the NRL, given they had Origin teams this morning. Haven't had a look at them yet, but the internet is not happy because the internet is never happy.
Never happy. Subscribe on your podcast app. All the good stuff. Like, review, and star them all, would you? Go on, do it. And check us a follow across all the socials, YouTube, Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, all that good stuff. And send in any questions, any bets, any futures you want, questioned, broken down. But either way, thanks, Alex.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks to Gerald for producing and, working around my schedule of having a really sore foot.
Yeah, I did enjoy how last week. Yeah, we're going to knock these over at 9 a.m. Nah, 10:30.
Yeah, I had a couple of things pop up today, so a bit of a rough one. Anyway, what do we say, Alex?
Gamble responsibly.
May all your picks come in. Happy punting. We'll catch you tomorrow. Go Bet Daily. Out.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.